Hello besties, how are you today? Welcome back to my channel Easy Sewing with Tyke. To everyone coming across the channel for the very first time, you're welcome. It's so good to have you here. My name is Taiwo and I can assure you that you would love it here. To all new and returning subscribers, you are welcome as well. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all so much. So on the channel today, we will be making this beautiful shoulder ruched flare gown, okay? And I recommend that you keep watching if this is something you're interested in. Please ensure that you subscribe if you are yet to, put on the post notification, like this video, share and leave a comment, okay? Thank you. Now let's get started. So to cut out the flare, we need to do some calculations, okay? Because we need the radius of the flare and we also need the length of the flare, okay? So let's start with that calculation. And now it's time to calculate the radius of the flare. To do that, we will need the round waist, the waist circumference, okay? So the waist that we're working with today is 34. So I'll be adding 2 inches zipper allowance to it. That's a total of 36. Now you have to divide your 36 with 6.28. So 6.28 is a standard because this is a 360-degree flare, okay? So it's a standard, okay? So, and what I have is 5.7. So I'm going to approximate that to 6. So the radius of the flare we're working with today is 6 inches. So you just want to keep that, okay? So the next measurement we'll be needing is the flare length. And to get that, you just want to subtract your full length measurement from your half length, since the flare is starting from the waist, okay? Since it's starting from the waist to the knee. So the full length of this dress is 40.5 and the half length is 17.5. So I'll just subtract that to get my flare length and also add allowance. Next thing to do now is to fold your fabric into 4, okay? Using the combination of the two measurements. Now we have 24 for the flare length and we have 6. That's a total of 30. So I have 30 inches lengthwise and I have 30 inches breadthwise, okay? So I'm sure that it's going to accommodate all the measurements that I need. Now, starting from the edge that way, I'm going to go ahead and measure out the radius, which is 6 inches. I'll make sure that I measure it all around, making sure that the tip of my tape measure matches up with that edge, okay? I'll go ahead and do that now. After which I'll go ahead and measure out the flare length, starting from that 6 inches that I just chalked out, okay? I'll go ahead and measure out 24 all round, okay? I'll go ahead and measure out that 24 from one edge to the other edge, okay? After which I'll just go ahead and cut it out like so. So if your flare is going to be exactly like the type that we are recreating, that does not have any side joining, that does not have any pocket, you just want to slash through just one edge, okay? You know that at this side we have two edge where you can see that green pin. You just want to slash through just one of those edges, okay? So you know you have just one opening and it's going to end at the zipper allowance at the back. But if you want yours to have a pocket like mine, if it's going to have a side joining, then you want to progress to the next stage, okay? I'll show you how to go about it. So I cannot just divide this into two, okay? Because I need the back to be longer than the front because of the zipper allowance. So here is what you want to do. Divide your waist measurement into two, then go ahead and divide it into 4. So from the tip that way, you just want to go ahead and measure out the waist allowance divided by 4, the waist measurement rather divided by 4. Then I'll go ahead and add 1 inch allowance to it, or 1.5 depending. Then I'm going to mark it that way. The excess that I have here, I have 1 inch excess. I'm just going to mark it all the way to the end. Okay, I'll chalk it all the way to the end. Then I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing for the second side. Then I will tell you how to cut it out. So please, you do not want to make the mistake of cutting the 4 fabric together at once, okay? Please, you just want to follow through with what I'm doing on the screen right now. You can see that right now I'm just cutting through one fabric, okay? So this is how you want to cut it. Once you are done cutting this side, you will flip it over and repeat the same process for the other side. Once you have been able to do this, you have successfully been able to make the back piece longer than the front piece, so that's way you don't have excess for your front, and then you have your zipper allowance for the back, okay? So please don't make the mistake of cutting through the 4 fabric together at once. You want to cut it through separately, individually, like so. So I hope you understand that. Here's the final outlook. You can see that we have been able to achieve this zipper allowance now. You can see that the front is smaller than the back. So all I have to do now is to divide that back piece into two. Okay. To cut the upper part, okay, so I'm gonna have to fold my fabric into four, and I'm going to show you how I folded it using that paper. Okay, so I went ahead to fold it into two this way, using the length of the upper part. I'm still going to tell you the length I'm working with, after which I went to fold it into two. So now I did not fold it into two equal parts. I went ahead to leave like 1.5 inch. That would be my zipper allowance. Okay, so this was how I folded the fabric. So the space you can see there is the zipper allowance, and it doubles as the center back, while where I am touching currently is the center front. So it doesn't matter that it is opened, because if it was on fold I would still have to slash through it. So this works fine. Okay, so that is my center front. Okay, and here is going to be where the sleeve opening would be. Okay, so I'm still going to cut it into two because that's where the sleeve opening would be. So I have 30 inches that way. I have 30 inches. So yours can be more than this. It depends on how ruched you want it to be, how full you want that gathers effect to be. But this, I'm working with 30 today. From the center front is 30, okay, and it is fine for me. The next thing I'll be doing now is to mark out 1 inch from the edge, from the top that way. So this 1 inch that I'm marking is going to serve as the shoulder joining. Okay, so I decided to make it 1 inch because I also want it to serve as a casing for that ruched effect. You would understand what I mean when we get to the sewing machine. Okay, so here is going, that 1 inch is going to serve as a casing for the ruched effect. That is why I'm using 1 inch and not half inches that I would have normally added for the shoulder joining. Starting my measurement from that chalk line, please, from that chalk line. Okay, I'm going to put in the length of that upper part. So if you look at the style we are recreating, you will see that that upper part is stopping around the underbust, but because I don't want mine to stop directly at the underbust, the neck to underbust that I'm working with is 14.5. I'm going to make it 15 inches. Then I'm going to add half inch to it. Okay, the half inch that I'm going to use to join that upper part to the band. So in total I have 15.5. So I'm just going to go ahead and chalk it out, then cut it. To cut the neckline, the neck width that I'm working with is 3.5. So you can make yours wider. Starting from the center front, not the zipper allowance, not the center back. Okay, I'll go ahead and measure 3.5 width. Then for the back, I'm making use of 2.5. So if you notice, you can see that I'm starting my measurement from that 1 inch. Please don't make this mistake. Okay, I later corrected it. Okay, so I used 2.5, and I would also want to advise that you make the back neckline lower. I don't know, I just preferred it when the back neckline was lower, but for the front it was 3.5 by 3.5. The dimension would be on your screen. Okay, so for that front, you just want to go ahead and extend it this way. You just want to give it a curve. Okay, that way. So that is the front neckline. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. Just follow through with what you can see me do on the screen. Okay, so while we cut, okay, if you are yet to subscribe, now is the time to do so. Please just go ahead and hit the subscribe button, put on your post notification. Okay, also don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment for me. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut through this fold for the sleeve opening. Then I'm also going to go ahead and cut through the fold at the upper part. Okay, so just do it the way I'm doing it. Now this is what we have, so you can go ahead and place it this way. If you are satisfied with this neck depth, you can leave it, but if you want it lower, you can just go ahead and adjust it. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like, and that upper part and the lower part will still be ruched and gathered. So the final thing we are cutting now is the band. Okay, so you just want to subtract your half length, that's your neck to your waist, from your neck to the underbust. So whatever you have is going to be the height of your band. So the width of this band is the waist measurement plus the sewing allowance. Then for the back I added the zipper allowance. So I make sure that I cut two of this because it is going to serve as the main fabric and as the lining to achieve a neat look. So you'll get to see it when we are sewing. Starting with the back neckline, I'll go ahead and turn into it my bias tape. So you can cut out a facing for your back neckline, but I prefer to use a bias, so I'll go ahead and do that. And for the front neckline, I'll be doing the same. Okay, I'll go ahead and turn it with a bias as well. Now taking one front piece and one back piece, I'm going to go ahead and join it at the shoulder using the 1 inch allowance that I left while we were cutting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew a straight line 1 inch and join it at the shoulder. So that is the neck area and that is the sleeve opening. So I'm going to go ahead and hem the sleeve opening that way, just using 1 inch. I'm going to fold in half inch. Okay, now this process should be done before joining the 1 inch at the shoulder, before doing the process I did earlier. Okay, you want to make sure that you fold this hem first before joining it at the shoulder. Now the next thing to do is now to create the casing where we'll pass our rope to make that ruched effect. Okay, so that 1 inch that we sewed earlier, you just want to open it up this way and then start folding it in side by side. You want to fold it in and have something wide enough that can accommodate your rope. Okay, so here I have like a 0.75, so I folded in a 0.25 and I have a 0.75, so that I know that even if my rope is like half inches wide, it can pass in and fit in conveniently. So once you are done, you want to make sure that there's an opening at the neck area that way, and also at the sleeve area there's an opening. Okay, because we are going to pass a rope through this place to achieve our ruched effect. Okay, the next thing to do now is to attach the band to the upper part. So for the front, that is the band for the front. I'm just going to go ahead and notch the midpoint that way. I'll be picking out just one first. Then I'm going to go ahead and mark out the waist allowance so that I'm going to know where to start my pleat from. Once I've marked it out, then I'm going to place the edge, the sleeve opening of one side that way, matching it up with the edge of the band. Then I'm going to sew it. Then after my sewing allowance of 1.5 inch, I'm going to start my pleat. Okay, so you can go ahead and make the pleat as big or wide as you desire. Okay, so I'm just going to fold it till I get to the center that way. Remember that the front piece is divided into two. So once I get to the center that way, I will make sure that this first side is not stopping directly at the center. I'll make sure that it overlaps like half inch to the other side. Okay, so I will bring the second side to it. I'm not going to place it side by side, rather I'm going to place it on top of it because I want to achieve an overlapped look. Once I'm done sewing, you are going to see what I'm talking about, but you want to go ahead and place this other side on it. Okay, not side by side, you want to place it on it to achieve an overlapped look. So yes, this is what I want to achieve. I want it to overlap like this. So I'm going to go ahead and join the second side also to the band. So this is it. This is what you would want to have when you are done. I'm going to turn it over now and show you. So you can see that it overlaps. Yes, exactly. This is what I want to achieve. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add lining to the band. Remember when we were cutting, I cut out two for the band, the main fabric and the lining. So to attach the lining, you want to place it this way. You just want to place the lining on it like so. Then I'm going to sew it by half an inch, just sandwich the pleated parts, okay, in between the two bands. And this is what you want to have. This is what I have after attaching the lining. You can see that I've achieved a neat look inside out. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and stitch that lower part, and now repeating the same process, I'm going to go ahead and attach this band to the back. Remember that is the zipper allowance area, that's the center back, and that is the sleeve opening. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach the band to the back as well using the same process. So for the back, you want to mark out your zipper allowance, then you want to mark out your sewing allowance after measuring out the waist measurement. Okay, so that you will know where you are going to put your pleats, because you don't want to put your pleats where you have your allowance. It's just as if you are wasting fabric. Okay, so you know where to pleat. You want to pleat on your waist measurement only. So this is what we have so far. So that is the front. You can see how it is overlapping. Then that is the upper part, the side, and finally that is the back. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Now I'll be taking this to the sewing machine and I'll be attaching the flay part, okay, the lower part to the band. So if you are yet to like this video at this point, please, you just want to take a few seconds to like this video. Okay, if you are yet to subscribe, also hit the subscription button. Ensure that you share this video, leave a comment for me, put on the post notification button. Thank you. So I've gone ahead to attach the front flare using 1/2 inch. I'm going to show you how I did this using the back. Okay, I've also gone ahead to fix my pocket. So I've fixed the pocket quite a number of times on this channel. Useful link would be in the description box. So to fix the flare at the back, make sure that the notch side on the flare is matching up with the zipper allowance. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and place it right side facing each other, and I'm going to sew it by 1/2 inches all through. The next thing to do now is to fix the zipper and to join it, the mini part at the center back, but I do not have my zipper available right now, so I'm just going to join it all the way. I'm going to be fixing the zipper off camera later. So this is how the back look like without the zip. Okay, now it's time to join it at the sides. It's now to join the front and the back together at the side. So to join it at the sides, you want to come up by 2.5 or 2 inches from the band that way. Then you want to go ahead and mark out the same allowance, which is 1.5. Then you just want to give it a curve like so. Okay, you just want to curve it that way. Then you are going to go ahead to sew it all the way. So once you have sewn that curved area, you just need to sew it on a straight line using the 1.5 inch side allowance all the way to the end. So this is it. This is what we have so far. The dress is almost ready. The only thing left to do now is to pass in the rope at the shoulder area to make that ruched effect. So using the safety pin, I'm going to go ahead and pass in this rope that I've made. The length is optional. Use your desired length, okay, but the size is 1/2 inch. Remember that my casing is 0.75, so that it can pass through that casing conveniently. So I'm going to have to pass two ropes to each shoulder. Okay, remember we have two casing per shoulder. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the rope. Then at the neck area that way, I'm going to stitch it down to secure it. Okay, so that I know that when I pull it from the sleeve opening, it's not going to come out completely. So this is what you want to have once you are done passing the rope. And that will be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope that you'll be trying yours out soon. So please don't forget to share, subscribe, like, and leave a comment, okay? You can also connect with me on other social media platforms. Till I see you in my next video. Bye.